What's up, Fanout Crew? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Colby Sullivan. I'm your host, joined as always by my good buddy, Jonathon and Colby. Jonathan, what's going on, man?
Oh, not a whole lot, Colby. How you doing, man?
Doing good. You came over this past weekend and we watched The Thing from our kind of a follow-up to our previous video. I'd never seen it. We did a top 10 list of our favorite movies to watch around Halloween. So if you haven't seen that yet, give that a look. It was a pretty fun live stream, and I gotta say, man, I really enjoyed the movie.
I thought
Super crazy. Like, I was nuts.
I thought my top 5 horror movies are classics. I really did.
Yeah.
They're classics because they're timeless. Everyone watches them all the time, and so I was just like, when you said you hadn't seen it, I was like, you gotta check it out, dude.
Yeah, it was a good recommendation. I really liked it.
And so we had a little. We came over to your house and we even it's still a movie again, however old it is, it's in its 40s. We are still able to talk about what happens within the movie.
Yeah, we had different conversations about like when certain people change and stuff like that, and what the order is, and I like that. It's kind of left up to interpretation. I think that's by design. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, and again, I think I told you that John Carpenter says you are correct. Whatever you see it, you are correct in how you saw it. So I think that's really, really cool. So
good Colby, recommendation, man.
So Colby, what the hell are we talking about today, man?
Well, there was some huge news. See what I did there? I heard about this little independent film called Deadpool 3.
Oh yeah, I've heard. Yes, is that the one? Well, I'm gonna Ryan Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, good Canadian kid, as Campy would say. So, I'm gonna put something on the screen here. I know you've seen this, but I just I want to show people in case they haven't seen it. And you and I haven't actually watched this together, so I just want to get your thoughts on it.
No, man, I've got plenty of thoughts because you cannot keep me off the internet when you tell me something like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Let's go. All right, you got it?
I got it.
All right, here we go.
Hey, everyone. We're extremely sad to have missed D23, but we've been working very hard on the next Deadpool film for a good long while now.
I've missed Ryan Reynolds' beard.
He searched my soul on this one.
I was waiting
his first appearance
for the hammer to drop.
Obviously needs to feel special. We need to stay true to the character, find new depth, new motivation, new meaning.
Every Deadpool needs to stand out and stand apart. It's been an incredible challenge.
That's his alcohol.
Forced me
to
reach down deep inside,
and I have nothing. Just completely empty up here and terrifying. But we did have one idea. Hey, Hugh, you want to play Wolverine one more time?
Yeah, sure, Ryan.
Coming Hune. All right, don't want to get a I'm sure I'll get struck for that music in that video, but I mean, come on, man. Like, thank you.
First off,
just thank you.
Yeah, thank you, and congratulations to Hugh Jackman getting one big bad Disney paycheck.
Yeah,
because they cut him a bill, man.
Yeah, do you think that this is going to be? I mean, this is basically probably his one thing, right?
Yeah. Okay, I will say this. It's just I think I speak for you as well when I say we are about to have Wolverine in the MCU.
Yeah,
we're going to get him.
Yeah,
and I think the date on that was September.
Yeah, September of was it next year or 2024?
Yeah, 2024.
Yeah.
So we will have. Now, I'm of the mind where, as much as we love Hugh Jackman be immortal and play Wolverine for the next 60 years, that just I don't think it's going to gel really well with what the MCU is going into. So, I think this is going to be it. I think this will be the last one. I think he wouldn't do it if he wasn't buddy with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, for sure.
I think this is absolutely, we'll do it. I'll come back, but I'm coming back one more time. So whatever you got to get off your chest, Ryan.
Yeah, this is his Han Solo, The Force Awakens movie. You know, he's not coming back unless this is his last one.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be. I think we're going to get a Wolverine versus Deadpool fight. I think it's going to be amazing
And hilarious.
It's going to be hilarious. It's going to be Wolverine full of his bullet holes and Deadpool missing limbs.
I want a like all the dinosaurs feared the T-Rex type of thing for that fight. You know,
are we taking bets whether or not Deadpool is going to be laying there without arms and legs, looking up at Wolverine and says something about having the high ground? I mean, it's going to be it's going to be the best Star Wars movie ever.
Yeah, that's a good point,
dude. It like, man, what?
It's over. He's going to say it's over, Jackman.
It's over, Jackman. Damn you! You like how many times is he going to talk about how attractive Wolverine? Damn you!
Yeah.
Dude, it's gonna be great. Now, I think I'm pretty sure Disney has come out and said we are gonna do, they're gonna take their hands off of Deadpool and let them do the rated R shtick. You know, I think it's properties like this.
Yeah.
Why they? I mean, I still have it. I have a to log into my adult account on Disney Plus. I still have to put in a password. Yeah, so it's just like, hey, but that's Disney. Disney did that as their failsafe. They're like, you know what, we're going to do family content, and then they adjust it a little bit. We're going to do family content first.
Yeah.
We're going to if you want to get on there and see a show that says shit or goddamn, you're going to have to put in 4 digits of your password.
Yeah, I still kind of like the idea of a PG-13 Deadpool in the MCU proper that we know of. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, do the R-rated one, yes, but
yes.
In future iterations, I think it's gonna be great when he shows up and he doesn't know that it's PG-13, then he gets bleeped.
Dude, it's gonna be great.
And he'll be aware that he's bleeped, and then he'll cuss even more, and then bleep even more. That's gonna be great, and then you know they're gonna do that.
I think he's gonna have to he's gonna have to pull out a book. He's gonna something's gonna fall on his foot or something. He's gonna be
like a thesaurus. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm excited for this, and it just kind of came out of nowhere. You know, I mean, there's been rumblings of it for years that we were finally going to see, you know, Wolverine again, or Hugh Jackman as Wolverine again, or some combination of Deadpool and Wolverine, but they have finally made it a reality. You know,
yeah.
So because you can think that John Krasinski is going to be Mr. Fantastic, you know, in the multiverse all you want, but until you see it with your own eyes, it's not real. You know, now it's real.
Well, technically he is. I mean, John Krasinski is or has been Mr. Fantastic. Now is he going to be the?
Well, I'm saying before that, before that movie came out, you know, that was the big fan casting, and then we finally saw it, and it was like, okay, well, now we got it. Now what's next? You know.
Yeah. But Hugh Jackman, I can't say enough good. I don't think I could do the man justice enough to say how happy I am to see him put on the tights again, you know.
Yeah, metaphorically. Yeah. I wonder if they would if they'll give him the you know, comics accurate costume just because as a joke.
I think they will. I think it will be a joke. I'm be I can see him he and Deadpool teaming up to beat up on whatever baddie it's gonna be. And then he comes out wearing the leather jacket and blue jeans, and then Deadpool stops and is like, no.
Yeah.
Not that.
You're wearing this stupid thing. You know?
Yeah. It's like, shut up and put this on. Would be funny if he just balls something, it throws a bag at him. He's like, put this shit on. And then he comes back out, and that's all it is. It lasts for 30 seconds, and then he gets set on fire or whatever the hell.
Yeah, because he may not even be in it, you know, very long. But I mean, who cares at this point? It's happening. So
no, I don't think they would do that. I don't think they would.
I don't think they will. I don't think so either. Yeah, I think he'll be in it as much as Cable was in part 2. You know.
Yeah, I think that was the problem.
Or Colossus.
With Zack Snyder's Justice League, how it was a big mistake not to promote that Superman was going to be in the damn movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's just I completely understand hiding cameos. But when you announce somebody, you know, fucking put them in there.
Sure.
I think Hollywood is going to use it to be
it's different. Yeah. That it made sense to withhold Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, because we had not seen them in those roles in so long, and they'd never been in the MCU. But
Yeah.
you literally just had Superman in the previous movie. It made no sense to hide him in the trailers, especially when everybody knows he's coming back anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
And yeah, you knew that at some point they were going to use him. Talk about the Justice League. You knew at some point he was going to show up. Because it's the fucking Justice League.
Yeah.
But anyway, now
Yeah, we could talk about that all night.
no, yeah. So
DC has their own problems.
but no, and I think Deadpool needs Wolverine.
Yeah.
At some point, like Deadpool,
and I think Wolverine needs Deadpool in order to work in the MCU. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, I don't think could work by himself, but with Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool there, I think they'll find some way to make it just naturally work. You know?
Yeah, I mean, Jesus, man. Again, God bless you, Hugh Jackman. When this movie comes out, Hugh Jackman has been Wolverine for 24 years.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Jesus.
Yeah. All right. So this was huge news. We really hadn't even planned on talking about this until like an hour before or 2 hours before the show. I texted John. I was like, "Hey, did you hear about this thing though?" And you were like, "What?" So yeah.
But anyway, so I'm really excited if this is A+ news. A++.
Yeah.
There. I mean, again, whatever you could the reviews, the audience score, everything could come out tomorrow and said, "Oh, this movie is going to be terrible." I'm going to go see Deadpool 3. I do not care. I do not care what happens. And that was before Hugh Jackman's in it. And now I want to go in there. I want to have my popcorn and my soda. And
there was zero
so excited for this movie.
chance that I was not watching Deadpool in the MCU. PG-13 R, I don't care. There was zero chance that I wasn't going to watch it. Now with this news, come on, dude. Like this movie is going to make all of the money.
Yeah, it's going to be great because again, this is our first confirmed Deadpool's a mutant. He's had ties with the X-Men confirmed in the MCU.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun. It's going to be, and I will say that at the very least, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun damn movie. So let's go check that out.
Yeah. So let's get on to the main topic. Since we are talking about the MCU already, we wanted to kind of talk about Phase 4 overall and whether or not it has been a success, disappointment, total failure, all the above, none of the above.
All the above.
Yeah. So we kind of want to go just, project by project here and just give our thoughts and then maybe give like an overall sort of rating on Phase 4 and then what we think the future of Phase 4 needs to do. And the future of Phase 4 is really one movie. So spoiler alert. But so John, the very first property in Marvel's Phase 4 was Black Widow.
All right.
Give me your thoughts on Black Widow.
Black Widow, God bless it, was supposed to come out in May of a little year we know as 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know how that went. This was supposed to be fresh off the heels of Spider-Man and Endgame.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it got delayed an entire year. All right. So when we finally go back to the theaters to see our Marvel movies in theaters, we're looking for Endgame, which I think Black Widow suffered greatly. I enjoyed Black Widow, and I have watched it twice since it's been on streaming. I think it's grown on me a little bit. The two things that I still think that are the one big thing that I think is just unforgivable is Taskmaster doesn't speak. I think Taskmaster is a cool looking villain. It has the potential to be awesome, but I'm like, is this person? I have to say, this person is at the time. It's like, is this guy not going to talk? And everybody's like, oh, you didn't like Taskmaster because spoiler alert for everybody who haven't seen this shit. It's been over a year and a half. It's like, it's a freaking, it's a female.
Taskmaster's daughter. Yeah.
Yeah. Taskmaster's a female. That's why you didn't like Taskmaster's like, no, dude, Taskmaster in the comics speaks.
Right. Yeah.
It has stuff to say. I can only imagine the dialogue between Taskmaster and Natasha Romanoff as they're going fisticuffs. You know what I'm saying? I think that is a huge, huge missed opportunity. The only other thing I didn't like is that everybody in the entire movie has a personality except Natasha Romanoff.
Yeah.
Why they did not let her be the witty, I'm going to hit you in the head with a peanut butter sandwich, flirty Natasha Romanoff that we get in Avengers Age of Ultron, which is around the time that this
This
movie
takes place between right after Civil War, I think. Yeah.
And but she is the exact same person. Like, that's it. Like, she doesn't have any kind of, she has none of the witty jokes. But she's there to look cool and she kicks ass. And I love you, Scarlett Johansson, and everything is awesome. But she is the most bland character in the entire show. They gave all the lines to Miss Pugh, Florence.
Yeah.
Is it Florence Pugh? Yeah,
Florence Pugh.
They gave all the jokes to Florence Pugh and David Arbor, and hell, even Rachel Weisz. Her character is the awkward scientist type. You know what I'm saying? But like, ScarJo plays the most bland Natasha Romanoff we've ever seen on film. So there's those two.
I didn't really notice that until you mentioned it. And you're right; she's just sort of there.
And so, and again, I'm not complaining about like this is a movie that tries to tie too much together, dude. I'm all about like movies that take place within the context of the MCU. I'm not knocking it for coming so late. It's just like, why are we getting a Black Widow movie now? Why don't we get an origin story? I still think they should have gone with Natasha Romanoff almost being killed by Hawkeye and being taken into S.H.I.E.L.D. I think that would have been a better Black Widow movie, personally. But whether or not they wanted to see Natasha Romanoff as a villain, I don't know. Like, they wanted they wanted to hit something like a Wonder Woman and how awesome that movie was, and they want their hero. But I think Natasha Romanoff as a villain would have been a better movie.
Yep,
what we got
for sure.
What we got?
Let's see. Sorry, I'm dealing with some comments. We're getting spammed. So let's see. Black Widow next. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. What do you got on that,
dude? Shang-Chi felt like return to form for the MCU. We get our cameos, we get our wit, we get our jokes. We got our characters that don't know how to do anything, but at the end of the movie, they're Master Bobin.
Yeah.
And that's not knocking the actors or anything. That is just how they were written. Like, it's beautiful to look at. Shang-Chi was beautiful to look at. I think it gets ruined. It has the same effect that I like why Black Panther falls off a little bit for me. The end CGI battle doesn't need to happen, but it does. But Shang-Chi is great. Shang-Chi was fun. We got to see Wong. We got to see who else? We got to see Abomination for the first time since 2008.
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool.
The real Mandarin.
Yep, the real Mandarin. We got to see him, and he even makes fun of the fact that they would name him the Mandarin. We get to see Trevor Slattery make a return, which that was fine. Like I said, you can throw Ben Kingsley in anything, I'll watch it. So I'm glad that he made a return. So
these bots are pissing me off, dude.
How do they find us?
I don't know. It's fine. I'm trying to block them. God damn it. This is ridiculous. So yeah, I mean, I like Shang-Chi. I really enjoyed the first. Yeah, dude, seriously. Like, I don't know why this is like a thing in live streams, but it is what it is. Yeah, so Shang-Chi, I really liked the first two acts. And like you said, the big, MCU CGI battle at the end just didn't need to happen, but it did. And so it is what it is. I mean, I liked the movie though overall.
Yeah.
Much better than Black Widow. I really liked it.
Yeah, Shang-Chi, like I said, again, if they would have taken just 15% of the martial arts in Shang-Chi and throw that into a little itty bitty show called the Netflix's Iron Fist, we would have been better for it. Just a little bit of what we got in Shang-Chi and Iron Fist, I think it would have been a lot better.
Yeah,
love a good I mean, it was our kung fu fighting MCU movie, which is amazing.
Yeah. All right. Next is Eternals. Let me take this one real quick. I thought this movie was going to win Best Picture before, and then I saw it. So I was totally wrong on that one. What do you got on Eternals?
Eternals. One of the biggest, are we going to talk about this at all ever again movies in the MCU? You could, the Shang-Chi end fight has an excuse. It's in like the secluded kingdom that we don't know how to get to.
Yeah.
And it's this big world-ending dragon that comes through this portal and it's about to destroy the world or whatever, right? Eternals has no fucking excuse. You have
Yeah.
you have a continent, a newly formed continent coming out of the ocean, and no one discusses it. You and it's the least talk about of all the Phase 4. Like, I understand why you never bring up Black Widow from, future movies, because this happened in between Endgame and Infinity War. But
Dude, this is
or Civil War. Civil
I'm
War.
sorry,
and
this is
Infinity
pissing me off. I can't. I'm having trouble listening to you because of all this monitoring I'm having to do. The theme so far of Phase 4 is none of it ties into each other. None of it, and it still doesn't. And I meant so far as in just the first 3 movies we talked about. None of them are related at all.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the payoff, or the potential payoff, is kind of like, okay, is this going to happen or not?
Yeah. Because I think one of the biggest things, like the after credit scene for Shang-Chi, is these things we don't know where these rings come from or
like
whatever.
Beacons.
And we still have no idea what that means. Still, we have no idea what that means or what that's leading into. Talk about the Eternals, and man, it's a star-studded cast, and it is the longest let's get the band back together movie in the entire world, man.
Mm-hmm.
It is a whole bunch of immortal guys that know how to fight and they know how to kick ass, and these bad guys come to Earth. It's just like, so the entire movie, they have to convince everybody to join their quest to get back together and stop.
Yeah, and then one of them just leaves,
and then one of them just kind of pieces out Hollis.
And it's like, what the? It's weird because I really enjoyed that movie when it came out.
Yeah.
At least I told myself that I did. Out of the theater, I was like, man, I actually really enjoyed that. But it's like after, watching it, I mean, a couple times and letting it kind of sit there, I was like, this sucks. Honestly, it's one of my, after really thinking about it, I have it as probably one of the worst movies in the MCU overall. It's a shame because it should have been great.
I enjoyed it the second time around, because the first time I'm like, where is this movie going? I think I brought that up in a video that we did after we did our review. The first time I watched it, I was just like,
okay, said they like the movie. I guess we're talking about Eternals. Yeah, and again, it's weird because I do like it. It's just it's so weird. The pacing is weird and it's so dense. It is a lot of movie.
Yeah,
it's a lot of movie.
Yeah, any movie that has a lot of boring stuff going on, but you got to pay attention to it, is tricky to watch. And which is why I like the second time I saw it. I've seen it like 2 or 3 times after I saw it in the theaters. It's just like, oh, okay, yeah, I know where this is going. Just knowing how it ends makes that movie a little bit more palpable. I guess that's a better way to say it. It is just like, it's like, all right, I know what's coming, so I know how to pace myself through this. I know when to get up and go to the bathroom.
Jesus Christ. And I'm starting to, this is pissing me off. I'm sorry. I'm trying to block these guys as soon as they come in. They're like coming in at like 15 and 20 at a time. Anyway,
wow.
Eternals hit or miss for most people. They either really love it or they really hate it. Most people.
Yeah, I'll give it
very polarizing.
For me, it was a B. It was a B. It wasn't, like I said, after the rewatch, I'm like, I completely understand.
Yeah, thanks, Jeremy. Appreciate it. I'm trying to moderate it, man. I need you to help me out here because I know you deal with this on your own main channel. But I guess this is what we get for talking about the MCU. Like, Jesus Christ, guys, let it fucking go. All right, next movie, Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Amazing.
What do you got?
It was amazing.
The best movie in Phase 4, right? I
So
mean,
far.
easily. Like, yeah, so far, sure.
I mean, is this the last movie? Is this the most recent movie in Phase 4?
No, 2 more after that. Well,
Oh,
technically
yeah, in
3.
that
One of
case-
them hasn't come out yet.
Oh yeah, in that case, yes. I will go ahead and I'll make that bold claim that
True, it's engagement.
Yeah.
People, quote unquote, are watching.
But no, I will say that that I've watched Spider-Man probably 6 times. It is great. It is an amazing
That's
movie.
probably where as many times as I've watched it, and it doesn't ever get old.
Nope.
You know, it's the best Spider-Man movie in my opinion. Narrowly beating out Spider-Man 2, but you know. So yeah, I wish they could have kept the other 2, Spider-Men under wraps more, but there's no way you can keep a secret like that.
So not when you're doing test screenings, and not when you get disgruntled employees who are like, oh yeah, you're gonna make me work on my day off. I'm gonna take a picture of this screenshot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it on the internet.
Yeah. What else can we say about Spider-Man No Way Home? I mean,
That hasn't been said.
yeah.
I'm so happy that again, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield got their third movies. They got to come in or Andrew Garfield got his third and Toby got number 4 after the letdown, I guess, of Spider-Man 3,
Yeah.
And
Yeah, Jeremy said that they did a pretty good job with keeping the secret. The actors did the best they could. Yeah, the actors did great. I mean,
yeah,
when you go in and look at those interviews that especially Andrew Garfield did, I mean, like you have to believe him that he was not in the movie, but at the same time, you knew he was lying. But I mean, I don't expect them to. The actors did what they could. I wish that we lived in a world where leaks weren't so obvious. God damn, this is just frustrating, man. Anyway, anything else we need to say on Spider-Man?
Nope. I still think one of the guys, when we say who was the greatest to play whatever role, like again, we just talked about Hugh Jackman and Wolverine. I cannot believe his name escapes me right now. Green Goblin.
Willem Dafoe
as Green Goblin is freaking phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad we got. I'm so happy he was the main villain of this movie.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm like, it was perfect. Everyone was like, because that's been a big knock on the Tom Holland Spider-Man. It's just like, well, where's Green Goblin in this? It's such a huge part of his origin story. Well, we got it. It's not his origin story. It's just part of his story now, which I think is amazing. I really do. I'm so glad that they got him a spot in there. And of course, Doc Ock's last name, the actor.
Alfred Molina.
Yeah, Molina. I almost called him Montoya.
You gave me serum. Prepare to die.
So yeah. So I'm glad Molina got in there as Doc Ock. Again, you said Spider-Man 2 is probably one of the greatest Spider-Man movies ever made, and he had a lot to do with that. Molina did. So, yep. Anyway, I think that me and Colby are in agreement that the best movie so far in the MCU Phase 4 is Spider-Man No Way Home. It was great. I thought we were going to get a lot more multi-universe stuff going forward, but that's about to get shut down as soon as we hit next. What's going next, Colby?
So yeah, it's interesting that you talk about the multiverse because like this next one, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, has nothing to do with the multiverse of the previous movie that we just talked about, and it absolutely should because Doctor Strange is in the fucking movie. So like,
All right, now this. Go ahead, Cole.
What? So so far it's weird because all the properties in Phase 4, like I'm enjoying them all individually for the most part. This one I actually quite enjoyed. Not as much, nowhere near as much as No Way Home, but this this movie is better than people give it credit for. It's nowhere near as good as it should be, and that's it. I mean, I enjoyed it.
Oh well, That's one of us. So
Yeah, I know you didn't like it. Yeah.
Multiverse of Madness shows up, and again, it was there could be an argument about expectation versus what you got. And
Expectation versus reality, or
yeah, and my
anticipation versus
reality,
expectation.
yeah. So it was not at all what I wanted to see in a Multiverse of Madness movie. It was Multiverse of Madness, not Multiverse of we're going to stick with this one character because she could jump through multiverses, and we're going to go to a different multiverse, and we're going to see a couple of really cool cameos. And oh, by the way, the Scarlet Witch is a bad guy that could have totally been. God, they could have done so much. Anyway, I'm going to go on my little rant. One of the pitfalls of this movie for me is if you are not, at this point, this is the first movie that if you are not watching the Disney Plus series, you're missing. You're missing something. This is the first movie that did that. And I was just like, man, they are, and they borrowed a little bit from it. We don't get any mention of Vision at all in the entire thing. Vision is as much.
that was almost like unforgivable.
So
given what happened in WandaVision.
Oh my God. So no mention of Vision at all. And it's all about their kids, and she's willing to kill the entire, at this point, you're convinced that Wanda will destroy the entire multiverse just to be a mom with her children instead of fabricating more children, instead of like, and the other thing is, it's like if she's that dead set, she has the chance to pull the trigger and kill Doctor Strange, Wong, and America Chavez all at the same time. Instead, decides the monologue. Like there's a lot of stuff. Like I tried watching this movie again. I can't get through it. I cannot stand this movie at all. There's only one movie in my list, if tier from S tier down to D. Multiverse of Madness is the only thing in D for me, man. Like
that far?
Yeah, dude. I cannot get into it.
I mean, I would have it like a B at worst.
Nope.
Wow. I know. That's
I can't do it.
Interesting.
But it's one of those things where it's just like I can't get into it. I can't watch it. Some of the jokes land flat for me. How they do, like how they have to, like, in Star Wars, the big gripe is everyone's always walking and talking. In Doctor Strange, everyone stops what they're doing and talk. It's even more boring exposition. At least Star Wars, they're at least walking, and Yoda's on a hover beam, and they're explaining exposition. In this one, they just kind of stop what they're doing. All the action stop. It all goes quiet. They're sitting at a table eating pizza, doing exposition. Oh my God, that probably because it was a huge letdown. That's why me personally, that definitely not my movie. And I remember you and Brian both looked like, oh wow, something's wrong with John. He doesn't like this movie. But
I don't think it was like that. I would think it was more like I liked the movie, but it was not as good as it should have been. Like that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, this is yeah, and like I said, everybody who watches it and enjoys it, I'm happy for you. I really am. I would love to find something that I enjoy in this movie. Like everyone's like, well, what about Zombie Strange? Nope. What about Mr. Fantastic and Professor X? I was like, that was really nice that they were in there.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do anything for me at all.
I'm glad it wasn't a cameo fest, but it still wasn't as good as it should have been. Next one, Thor: Love and Thunder.
This one, I am convinced it would have been for those of you who don't know, little behind the well, oh my God, I keep wanting to say behind the screen, but that's not the way you say it. Behind the scenes.
Yeah, I was like, what are you talking about?
Behind the scenes stuff with Thor: Love and Thunder. Lena Headey, the Headey, or is it Headey or Headley? The one who plays Cersei in Game of Thrones. Lena Headey was supposed to have Lena Headey.
Oh my God, never mind. Just Cersei from Game of Thrones.
Cersei from Game of Thrones was supposed to have a big part in this movie. Disney cut her a check for $7 million to be in this movie. And so there's a cut out there with her in it. And I believe that has something to do with fleshing out.
Wingnum didn't like it.
So anyway, there was so I think what's missing from Thor: Love and Thunder is a little bit of backstory.
Do we know what part she was supposed to play?
I guarantee you it's supposed to be Valkyrie's lover.
Really?
I think so. Because every other character has growth in that movie except Valkyrie. And you can just tell, like, her scenes are like so quick. Like, she doesn't have more than like 1 or 2 lines. I think she was supposed to have like 10, 15 minutes of talking or at least screen time with Lena. You know?
I really enjoyed Love and Thunder, but at the same time, another movie that wasn't as good as it should have been. You know,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
Taika Waititi's doing interviews before the movie comes out on the press tour, and he's like, I feel like this is my best movie and all that stuff. And I'm like, great. But then it came out and I was like, eh.
Jojo
Not
Rabbit
sure.
is still his best movie.
Yeah.
Jojo Rabbit is still his best movie. Ragnarok, I still think, is leaps and bounds better than Love and Thunder.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've got Ragnarok as like top 5 in the MCU.
Yeah, Ragnarok is so good. Ragnarok, again, we're talking about not a Phase 4 movie, but Ragnarok is exactly what Thor needed. You know, and I think Love and Thunder is a step back, maybe 2 steps back from what we got in Ragnarok.
Yeah. And it looked so good. It's weird. Like,
Yeah.
I was
excited.
Man.
You can't lead off a trailer for months at a time.
Ultimately that's what happened. Taika like was basically just, hey, I'm cashing a check. So I mean, I get it. They're not gonna sit there and lie and be like, yeah, this movie sucks, bro. And I don't think it sucks. I just think that it doesn't
suck.
I still enjoy it overall, but it's nowhere near as good as it should be.
No,
you're right. It's missing stuff. It's almost like a lot of people that gave really bad, like, negative reviews said that it just felt like a complete, disjointed mess, and the tonal changes between the scenes are too extreme for them. Like, Gore is crazy and all this stuff, and he is menacing, and then you've got screaming goats, and then it's like, pick a lane.
And again, that's back-to-back movies where we have a villain that his entire mission is to kill gods. But
I would love to have seen it.
He has the opportunity to kill Thor, but he does this is gonna hurt a little. Like, he goes full Joker on him. Yeah, and he gets whacked. It's just like,
Christian Bale is amazing though in that role. It's weird. It's just a weird end result.
And again, the big plot hole where Gore is doing what he has to do because gods they don't have feelings. They don't think about anyone else. However, he literally lures a god out from compassion. It's like, Thor's got to come save the kids. That's what heroes do. But you're saying gods aren't heroes. So there's a plot hole there. It's just like, there's a little bit of disconjointed. It could have been great. It could have been great where, Gore could have been after one god and Thor was trying to prevent him from killing said god. And then at the end of the day, God that he's protecting is a douchebag, but doesn't speak for the rest of them. Anyway, that would have been my hot take. But anyway, Love and Thunder again gets a C. Got a C for me.
I'd probably have it a little higher, but not to the point where, like, nowhere near like Ragnarok level. So that's it for movies in Phase 4, except for one more, which we'll touch on at the end.
Yeah.
Moving on to television, we've got WandaVision.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
WandaVision. WandaVision was Disney Plus's first step into these shows. I still thank God that it got 2 episodes. It launched with 2, because if it would have been 1, I would have had it a week. If I would have had to wait a week to get episode 2, I would have forgot about WandaVision. It's just that the Disney Plus series where there's this big, huge mystery about it, but you don't let us know anything about the mystery. You got to give me something.
It's So you haven't seen Andor, right?
No, because that's not a Phase 4.
I will say that they need to stop releasing these multi episodes and just make them one episode. Like Andor, there's no way in hell that anybody would watch the first episode by itself and then watch the second episode. And then they certainly wouldn't watch the third episode after having watched the second one, right? But when you combine them all, it's really good. I know that sounds counterproductive, but they should have condensed the first 2 episodes of WandaVision into one and just made it, So anyway.
But there was a lot of stuff I liked about it. I love seeing Elizabeth Olsen. I love seeing why are all these actors oh my
Paul
god,
Bettany.
Paul Bettany come back as Vision. Agatha Harkness, portrayed by Khan, right?
Catherine Hahn.
Yeah, Catherine Hahn. Khan. Oh my god. Portrayed by Catherine Hahn, like, and they're all amazing. They're all great, interesting characters. Even Darcy, we get Darcy coming back from the Thor universe. We get the FBI, I think is what's his last name? The FBI agent that showed up in Ant-Man.
Jimmy Woo.
Yeah, Jimmy Woo's there, dude. It is a great, amazing cast. Once the ball gets rolling, it's really good. However, again, I'm marking down points. At the end of the day, Wanda, honey, you are brainwashing an entire town, but you want me to feel sorry for you. It's not going to happen. You want me to feel bad about your plight. It's like, no, sweetheart, you're a villain at this point. You're a bad guy, And so nothing makes sense after WandaVision going forward with the Maximoff's character and Vision. There's just nothing. There's nothing going forward with it. However, thank you so much for, was it Luke Peters or Luke Evans?
Evan Peters. You are not on your game tonight with the actors.
Dude,
Evan Peters.
I am not. I'm trying to just think of shit to say. And thank you for not being a serial killer in that episode.
Yeah,
thank you so much. We
was
appreciate
nice.
you not being a psychopath.
Sometimes people are typecast, So, dude, I'm trying to keep up with your conversation, but this chat is pissing me off.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I'm
dude.
sorry.
You're the one giving all the
Well,
chat the attention.
It's good because I was gonna have you basically lead this one anyway. So, Falcon Winter Soldier is next.
Falcon Winter Soldier. I'm glad everyone came back, and I think this is the most consistent of all the Disney Plus series. It's the exact same show in the beginning, and it's the exact same show at the end. There's no like.
Yeah, that was always my argument with it. It wasn't great or horrible. It just had a really even keel the whole way.
Yep.
The villain was a little weak, but overall the show was solid.
Yep. Start to finish, it's Falcon and Bucky being not chummy, grow to be chummy, which is, I guess, that's the arc. Is we have Falcon taking the mantle of Captain America, and then Bucky dealing with some hard ass PTSD, and then Bucky and Sam becoming buddies. So I mean, that's it. At the end of the day, that's what that entire movie. Hey, we got Zemo dancing in a club, which I go, that was badass. We got Baron Zemo.
Yeah, Zemo was cool. I didn't love his character in Civil War. I understand the motivation, but I really liked the way they fleshed him out in Winter Soldier. So hoping to see more of him in Thunderbolts, which I'm sure we will.
I hope so.
Loki.
I'm trying to think. I know I enjoyed it while I was watching it. I have not had any interest in going back and rewatching it. I do know that much.
Well, that's the whole problem with all the MCU TV shows.
Yeah,
they don't matter. So
yeah,
they're not rewatchable from that perspective because none of it matters. That's the ultimate problem with Phase 4, in my opinion, is none of it's connected. How is it that we like Loki was a year ago, and we are not dealing with anything with Kang yet?
No idea.
Coming off Endgame just started the downward spiral of the MCU, in my opinion. The appeal of each conflict in the new IP seems sedated and lackluster. Yeah, I mean it's not connected. None of it, like that's what I just said. None of it matters.
But again, they're waiting way too long. Like we knew. Again, I hate we have to compare everything to Phase 1. Phase 1, we knew what the hell was going on. We got, again, Iron Man end credit scene, putting together the Avengers. The next movie was Hulk. What if I told you we're putting a team together? The end of and then we get Thor. They make mention to Tony Stark, and then we get Captain America. The last scene we get in Captain America is the trailer for the Avengers, and then at the end of the Avengers, we get the Thanos head turn. So it's just like
it was all setting up for something. Yeah,
that's Phase 1,
right?
If you ask me, hey John, draw that map, connect those dots with Phase 4, I can't do it. I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah. I mean, some of the properties deal with the multiverse, but the ones that don't connect to each other. So it's like, what is? I don't I don't know what
it's like
direction.
There's only so many movies and properties you can have the tagline, what is the multiverse? You know, because we don't know. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
You're not telling us. So, like I said, remember when I said, like, I would not have watched WandaVision if I just got that first episode? That is how I feel about a lot of the Phase 4, where I keep going. It's like, tell me something about this story.
Yeah.
Tell me something about the story, and I'm not getting it, so it leaves me wanting. And there's a difference between wanting more and wanting something. Like, you're not giving me anything, man. You're not giving me anything about the overarching story that you gave us for 3 whole phases. You know, you're not giving me shit.
Yeah, I mean, they've already mentioned that, that Phase 5 and 6 are the multiverse saga and all that stuff, and that's fine. But like, how does Phase 4? Phase 4 is now. Like, that's not 5 and 6. It's already here. So how the hell are we not talking about this huge hand in the ocean and ripples in space time? Like, how are people not dealing with this? And they're just ignoring it. That's the thing. It's weird. Phase 4 just seems like it doesn't have the same direction, and there's no cohesive vision with this phase. I don't think. It just they kind of were like, hey, let's just start over, new blank slate. And in a way, Phase 4 kind of is the new Phase 1, where we're trying to, like, get all the people they're telling a lot of new stories, but instead of having the big 3 like in Phase 1, there's like 30 now. So it's taking forever,
Yep. No one's getting their character for years at a time. There is so again, talking about Loki really quick. Thank you so much, Tom Hiddleston, coming back and keep playing Loki. You could do it forever, my man. You're amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
So and we do technically see our first glimpse of Kang, even though he's not technically Kang. He's the one, I guess.
Oh, the He Who Remains. Yeah,
He Who Remains.
I mean, he's a Kang variant, though. I mean, that guy is Kang.
Yeah,
they're all Kang. It's weird because time travel is a whole thing. All right, so Hawkeye was next.
Hawkeye. All right, Hawkeye. I'm really happy to see again. The most compelling aspect of this story is Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye, Clinton Barton, dealing with the loss of Natasha Romanoff. That is because it's like that, because that connects to the conflict that we know and love, and it shows that at the end of the day, like, it shows how beat up Clinton Barton is, how he's losing his hearing.
Yeah.
It's just like, man, you feel, and at the end of the day, man, you've been with Hawkeye too since I think Thor dropped in 2010,
2011, or
2010, 2011 is when we got the first Thor movie, which is technically the first time we saw Jeremy Renner string up a bow. So it's good to see him still suiting up, and slinging arrows. Kate Bishop, the young lady who plays her, is amazing. I love that freaking, Kate Bishop is a legit person in the comic books. And for everybody who thinks that it's just a sex swap, well, ladies and gentlemen, first off, before anybody gets upset about sex swapping in the MCU, Marvel had to do that back in the 70s because they were in the tank. All right? Like, Marvel was hard for, so Marvel created these sex swap characters. She-Hulk, Kate Bishop, Cassie Lang, that will replace Ant-Man at some point, I guarantee it. Because again, that was Marvel. Marvel was like, what do we do? We're not making any money on our heroes. We gotta, again, just do a sex swap, and that's what happens. So I love the fact that it takes place at Christmas. It gives you, like, Hawkeye's a family man. I do think the payoff at the end with his wife being attached to S.H.I.E.L.D. somehow.
Dude, whoever the fuck is spamming chat, stop. Seriously, Jesus Christ. Like, you're wasting your time and you're wasting my time. Sorry, go, John.
You saying that is letting them win, Cold.
I know, but it's like, dude, I've been doing this for an hour, dude.
Well, we're almost done. Let him keep going. It's like, we're almost done. And then, so yeah, that's all I have to say about Hawkeye. I think it was a missed opportunity to have, like, some web stuck to a window somewhere.
Yeah, they seemed like they were gonna do, like, some small, combinations of Spider-Man and Hawkeye because of the whole, what was it, Steve Rogers the musical,
yep,
and all that stuff. You see this, the signs in both things, and it's like, I mean, those are cool, but like, I want real connections in Phase
Yeah.
4, and there just isn't anything yet.
None.
You know.
Then what do we get after Hawkeye, Colb?
Moon Knight, which I think is probably my favorite show of the MCU shows so far.
Yeah.
The ending was a little weak, but overall, like Oscar Isaac just absolutely nailed that character. And I think he was kind of robbed that he didn't win an Emmy for that. But I mean, I get it.
Right.
You know, whatever.
Yeah,
go.
There is Moon Knight. They do a couple tropes that I don't enjoy, but I love the show from start to finish. There was, again, the ending fell flat. And the one trope that I think is ridiculous that they try to, pull the wool over our eyes is just like, Mark Spector dies at the end of an episode or he loses his power. You're like, okay, how long we got to go without him having his power? Because he's going to get it back.
Yeah, sure.
It's just like, how long? It's like, come on.
Yeah, that's definitely something that like every comic book iteration does at some point, and it's almost like it's been done so many times. It's almost a cliche if you don't do it.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, that guy hasn't lost his powers yet. This movie,
yeah, he's too overpowered. We gotta take him down a peg. Yeah,
and the issue is when you put that into a show, it's got to be the entire episode. It's not 15 minutes 20 minutes in a movie. This guy loses his powers. It's got to be an entire episode that we get a powerless superhero, which does make for boring.
I would say even more than that.
Yeah.
But another problem with these shows is not all of them are 6 episodes, but a lot of them are. And 6 episodes is just not enough, dude. Especially when you've got a 5-minute, well, I'm gonna say 5. You got a 2 or 3 minute intro and then 10 minutes of credits, which I'm not kidding. It's fucking 10 minutes of credits. You know,
because they give all of a sudden international
you look
credits.
You look at the runtime and you basically subtract at least 10 minutes. And then it's like the show ends up being 28 minutes or 22 minutes in the case of She-Hulk. It's like, what the hell? So
we're not quite the She-Hulk. We're getting there though.
Yeah. I guess Signporf is how I don't know if I butchered that. Sorry. Yeah, you leave Rings of Power out of this, sir. Or madam. I know what you're saying, but that's the problem with Rings of Power is like, they tried to paint it that we're all bigots and stuff because of the diversity casting. It's like, no, your show just sucks balls. It's horrible. It's horribly written and all. It's horrible.
I think I get to say it. I said this to Cole, and there is a reason we're not talking about House of Dragons right now. It's amazing.
Yeah,
House of Dragons is amazing.
It's like you can go look at new Rockstar's videos for that. Like the show is great.
The show is amazing. So I was telling Colby that it's like Hollywood has officially shot themselves in the foot. Period. It's like I told Colby today, I am done with Rings of Power. It is. I'm just over it. I think it's fucking stupid. I am not enjoying this show at all.
I'm almost there. I think I'm gonna watch the first season.
And so so I was explaining to Colby when Hollywood's like, oh well, that's because you don't like strong female characters. Well, fuck you, buddy. I am loving House of the Dragon, and the 2 leads are arguably women in this show. It is freaking phenomenal, and I just love everything about House of the Dragons. It is great. It is phenomenal. I watched 2 women give birth this last episode. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
It's just like it's like whatever. Now you cannot make the lead character.
It's the best show on TV right now.
Yeah.
Like
you cannot make the lead character of your show of a $1 billion franchise completely unlikable. It's just like completely unlikable. That is what you got in.
Did you see the numbers that they spend per episode on Rings of Power?
Nope, don't care.
Okay, so here's the thing. House of the Dragon spends $10 million per episode. Okay. Take a guess at Rings of Power.
100 million.
Okay, not quite that much. $60 million. And I'm sitting here asking myself, $60 million on what? Because there's nothing there. Like there's videos on YouTube of people who have actually found, copy and pasting of assets in like a 40 or 50 person crowd. They couldn't get enough extras and they're literally copying and pasting people to make the crowd look bigger. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous. And they were like 40 feet away from the original asset. And they didn't even bother resizing it for the scale perspective. I mean, like, dude, this is amateur hour shit. Anyway,
so
speaking of amateur hour, let's get back to the MCU.
Let's go back to the MCU really quick because we're about to talk about, I believe, the next 2 shows coming up are exactly what we're talking about.
Moon Knight, really solid overall.
Again, flat landing, but other than that,
yeah. Ms. Marvel,
loved it. Again, 1 episode, which is the one, spoiler alert, she goes back in time. Didn't really care for that episode.
The rest of the done without that one.
Exactly. The rest of the show was amazing. I loved it, and everybody's like, "Well, it's just bubblegum crap." It's like, good. I want my bubblegum crap comic book shit.
I don't know if you've watched the latest episodes. You said the plot is moving at a snail's pace, but there's a 10-year time jump in the latest episode. So if you haven't seen it, give it a look. I understand it's not for everybody. I love it. I've read the source material, so I think they're doing it justice, hands down. The Rings of Power is a fucking joke. And I know you didn't bring up Rings of Power. I was just using that earlier as a little segue joke. So Ms. Marvel, I thought this show was a really cool breath of fresh air. Really enjoyed the first few episodes, the way they were doing the cell phone like texting integrated with the graphics and stuff on screen. Kind of got away from itself in the middle episodes and then had a pretty solid ending. So overall, I really liked the show. I thought it was way better than I was expecting it to be. When I saw the trailers, I was like, this is CW level crap. And then I saw the show and I was like, wow, okay, this is actually very well made. So
I guess I the thing when it comes down to whether or not you enjoyed a show, would you watch a season 2? And yes, I would. I would watch a season 2 of Ms. Marvel.
Absolutely. So. Yeah. Last one, She-Hulk, Attorney at Law.
Loving it. I love to kick my feet up for all of 20 minutes and watching
barely 20 minutes.
Lawyer show.
I am not loving it. I'm
loving it.
I'm quite enjoying it. I do think it's pretty funny. I mean, it has its moments where it's hilarious, but I still want to see, like, it seems like the show is directed by a different person every time. I haven't even looked to see if that's the case, but it just feels like each episode is like a different type of tone. And I think that they do need to lean into the fourth wall breaking even more, because it seems like she does it once, maybe twice per episode. And I'm like, that's your character. Like, you need to like really, really lean into that.
Yeah, I will say that this last episode was a big miss. She has the obligatory
wedding one.
Yeah, the obligatory wedding episode.
Yeah, I did think it was funny they acknowledged it.
Yeah.
So, and it's like, she's like, did she say, are we really going to show you Daredevil's mask and then cut away to a wedding episode?
Yes.
Maybe that. Yeah. And it was like, damn, okay. All right. That's where we're doing it. So, yeah. I'm like I said, I'm not loving the show, but I've been impressed by it for sure. Jesus Christ, this is fucking ridiculous. Sorry.
So that's the last show, right?
Yeah. So that is the last Phase 4 property, with the exception of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Oh, man.
So before we get into that, give me a letter grade on Phase 4 so far.
Letter grade on Phase 4. I think it was full of. We got the 1D, but we got the 1A. I will say that I got my Spider-Man No Way Home, and then I got, and again, to me, was Multiverse of Madness, and the rest of them are a smattering of B's and C's. I will say, including
sounds like my Saturday night. Okay, anyway.
So including the shows, I want to give it a solid.
Let me know how to pronounce that, if you can like do it. Is it Cineporf? I don't know. I'm sorry. It says D.
I'm going to say C+. I'm going to give the entire series a C+.
See, now I'm mad because I was going to say C+, and I can't have you give the same grade. Like,
you get for letting me go first, asshole.
Yeah, apparently. Okay, Cineporf, cool. God, it's, you know how like when you go to a steakhouse and you're like, I want it mid-rare and medium, and I want it mid-rare, but I want it more medium. Then it's like, I want a hot pink center. Don't we all? I am between C+ and B- here. leaning more towards C plus. And it's weird because like I've really enjoyed most of the properties individually, but when you put it all together, I would say this phase is better than phase 2 because phase 2 has 2 of the worst movies in the MCU for me, Iron Man 3 and Thor the Dark World, right? But it also has 2 of the best movies, Guardians and Winter Soldier, and then one of the most meh movies, Age of Ultron. So for me, so I don't know. I'm gonna say C plus also, but I still think it's better than phase 2, but not as good as phase 1, and certainly not as good as phase 3.
Yeah, there's it's lacking direction as it stands right
absolutely.
now.
Yeah,
and
it's almost like Feige's being pulled away from it by higher powers, Bob Chapek. So it's weird.
All right, so let's talk really quick about Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
First off, I think we're both expecting this show to be a farewell to Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace. And I think it's going to be highly leaning in that direction. They're going to have a conflict with the Atlanteans and Namor. It's not the Atlanteans anymore. I forget what they're going to call them.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
Yeah, but anyway, so now let's just say, what does this movie have to do? We're not doing expectations. What does this movie have to do to solidify Phase 4 as a success?
Real quick, they did announce today that this is going to be the second longest movie in the entire MCU, right behind Endgame, like 2 hours and 48 minutes or something crazy. So
that'd be badass. I mean, like I said, I get my money's worth when I buy my ticket. So what does it need to do to be a success? It needs to, I think it will. I think it doesn't need to be 30 minutes talking about the giant head that came out of the ocean. It just needs to be, this stuff is pissing us off. Everything you guys got going on the surface is pissing us off. And they can make mention of, hell, maybe the rings that Shang-Chi has is Atlantean, you know, or they know where it comes from. We get...
I hope not, though. I hope that's more cosmic, but...
Yeah, well, I'm just looking for anything. I'm grasping at straws at this point. It's like,
at least acknowledge it.
Acknowledge these guys. And maybe we get, again, because we just had Love It, maybe we have Bast show up and make mention that Zeus was attacked by Thor. I think that would be badass. Just show us.
Yeah, cool.
That
because we do see Bast in Love and Thunder.
Yes, we do. And just like, so she's there. You know, she could be telling somebody, the new king of Wakanda or the queen, that this shit is going down on a cosmic level. And it brings it all back to Earth and Wakanda because we all love Wakanda. Everybody loves fucking Wakanda. And we are really excited about this movie. I think it's going to be handled with a lot of poise and respect. And I know that it's gonna be like some serious stakes are in it. You know, I'm sure it's gonna be emotional for a lot of people. And
fuck, the trailer was emotional, dude.
Yeah,
like, I mean, I'm sitting there like, I don't know if I can watch this movie, dude.
Are you going to be able to squeeze in a joke here and there? Like, that's how I feel. It's just like, are they going to get away with any of that MCU humor? You know, it's going to be tricky. And but at the same time, we're due after.
Thanks, Nerdrotic. Big fan. If it's really you, which it's not. Anyway, go ahead, Sean.
So I got a huge. We got to be careful with how this thing is approached. Now, at the same time, okay, so after Love and Thunder, after Multiverse of Madness, after all the shenanigans that are all the Disney Plus shows, we're due for a Dark Knight. You know, we're due for that serious tone movie. You know, now is that gonna?
Have we ever had one though in the MCU at all?
Almost with, I would say, I think the darkest one would be Winter Soldier. You know?
Yeah.
I think that would be, or Civil War. You know, because we see our heroes fighting each other. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
depends on what your definition of dark is.
Yeah, but no, like we haven't had that super serious, super stakes. You know, I mean, even during the final battle in the Avengers, we get, you know, pucker up Legolas or
better clinch up Legolas.
Clinch up Legolas. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I don't think that's a party. You know, this the one-liners that are going on during this battle that
Mhm.
you know allegedly ending the world. So I think, and then of course, by the time Infinity War rolls around, yes, it's a big, huge spectacle, and they try to make it seem like stakes are going to be had. But at the end of the day, is like we know for a fact, or at Endgame, at the end of Endgame, we know
Yeah.
our heroes are going to win. It's just in the back of your mind, it's like everything has been done perfectly. The heroes are going to pull this out, and they're going to win. And
So
it's about,
what does Wakanda Forever have to do to stick the landing?
what does it have to do? I just think again, it makes us realize that hey, look, we're still here. It's like we hear you. An acknowledgement of look guys this is my expectation and I could be let down, the acknowledgement of like hey guys, we've had our fun, but this is a tip to the cap to everybody that has worked in phase 4, you know, a little bit of your time and money that is going on to viewing these characters, you know. I think we leave with a different ruler of Wakanda. We have Namor inserted into our list of or our catalog of characters as a hero. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I really don't want him to be a villain, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean he's well in the comics. I mean they got precedent for that because I mean he's an anti-hero sometimes, he's an
Yep.
outright villain sometimes, he's an outright hero. So I think that they will just lean on the source material for that. So I'm not super worried about that. Um, I don't think he's going to be an all-out villain. There's no way.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think
So
he's.
sorry, go ahead.
Yep, because I hope he. I hope they start leaning on the defenders a little bit. I think that'd be huge
Hmm.
to get the real defenders, not the street level defenders, not the Marvel Knights that they call the defenders.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, so but yeah, I think first off, I'm really excited about it. I think it's gonna be great. I think when we talk about Phase 4 and we talk about all the missteps, we're gonna come back to talk about how good Wakanda Forever is.
So you
You know,
don't think it's a coincidence that they're closing Phase 4 with Wakanda Forever?
No, I think it is a coincidence. I think it's a coincidence how how shoddy the rest of Phase 4 has been.
No. I just mean that like they're choosing this one specifically because like it's gonna put a bow on the whole thing and it's gonna be great.
No, I think they planned this one for Oscar season. They're planning it in November.
Really?
Yeah, I think because that's what they did with the last one. Because
Yeah,
the last
I mean,
one got a lot of hype, and I think this was going to do more of the same.
I really, really like loved Black Panther, but I didn't think it warranted an Oscar nomination personally. I'm happy that it got it. It's about time that these types of movies finally get some recognition. Kind of like Return of the King was the first true fantasy movie to win, and it won everything it was nominated for, and it should have. But it was really more of a lifetime achievement award for the whole trilogy.
Yeah, I think everyone. I've said my opinion about Black Panther. It is when you just take characters speaking to each other and dialogue, the writing, everything in that movie is amazing. But to call the final battle scene and the final fight scene in between two CGI characters and CGI rhinos and stuff like that, saying that warrants Best Picture, I will disagree with that.
Yeah. So that's a good point that the superhero fatigue has been a talking point for several years now, and it's like when is the dam going to break? I think that if this movie is as good as Spider-Man No Way Home, like I think most people would agree that No Way Home is the best movie in Phase 4, right? Especially two of us. I mean, that's but even if this movie is as good, I still don't think people are going to change their minds on Phase 4 as a whole, and they shouldn't. I mean, they should judge the whole phase as it is. But I've been burned too many times, especially recently. So I am really just trepidatious about how good this movie is going to be. I thought Multiverse of Madness was going to be a masterpiece. I thought Thor: Love and Thunder was going to be great. And while I enjoyed both those movies, they're nowhere near as good as they should have been. So I just want to see a good movie, man. I want Chadwick Boseman to have a proper send off, and I don't want it to be forced. I just want it to be wholesome, and I want it to make sense within the story and all that. But also, with everything that happened with the actor. So
Yeah.
I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt, but again, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, man. And before we get out of here on this this downer of a note, super happy to see Hugh Jackman back.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, we have no context. You know, they did show the claws and stuff and going through the logo at the end, but I swear to God, if he's not actually like in the movie, like a lot, you know, if it's just a cameo, if it's a go fuck yourself cameo, like it was in a First Class, I mean, whatever. I can't control it, but I don't think they would do that.
No,
So.
neither do I. I don't think they would advertise him being in the movie and just have him in there for a quick flick of the wrist slashing.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I mean that's kind of my thoughts on Black Panther. Like I really enjoyed it, but I didn't think it was Oscar worthy. It definitely was Lion King mixed with like Wonder Woman, you know, with like the secret island and all that stuff. And I mean, I know Wakanda's not an island, but I'm talking about Wonder Woman, and it's yeah. I don't think it deserved that nomination, but again, I'm glad that you know the genre got some recognition. So, John, you got anything else before we end it?
No, man, I have loved this discussion.
Yeah, this has been good.
You know, we got
other than the bots driving me crazy for an hour and 15 minutes.
We got about 2 or 3 episodes of She-Hulk left, and then we have Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. And then
and we finally have a release date for Deadpool 3, September of 2024.
Yeah.
And apparently they're doing another Spider-Man movie that year. 2024 could be like legit. We'll have to see. You know, I'm just excited for the other phases. I mean, in phase 4 really didn't hit home the way that I wanted it to, but we'll see. And you know, guys, I appreciate you hanging out with us this long. Other than the bots, you can go fuck yourself. But John, anything else, man?
No, man, I'm good.
All right, guys. We're probably going to start doing some more of those top 10 lists like we did last week with the Halloween movies. We've got some ideas and stuff. So look out for those. Give us a like and subscribe. And as always, fan out. See you guys.
Fan out, guys. Y'all have a wonderful evening.